maybe that, like, when us coming from like a inner city community, sometimes all that, like, this violence and some having sides comes from what you grow up around, and and the stuff that you don't achieve is like, that's your second outlook on things, instead of becoming what you want to really be. And if you don't make it to that, you end up choosing, and you go down the wrong path, because as a kid you're always focused on this right path, and as you get older you start making mistakes. But what you could do, what I would do, is like, I just focus on what I would want to be, instead of, because sometimes a lot of people, well, sometimes not a lot of people, but sometimes there are people that they, instead of them becoming what they always wanted to be, they become something that they see other people being, which is be joining gangs and being this person that sells drugs and makes money off of it, and then become what they call rich, illegally rich, and then that's what they end up becoming. And then another side would do that, and you guys have beef about something that's so petty, and we're not even doing anything about it. And then we have police, which is surprising to me. So sometimes I say to myself, I'm glad that this happens and God makes this happen, because the only time that we ever all come together is when this happens, and we protest together is when either police did something that they didn't kill a person, a black person, and that's the only time we come together and protest as a unit. But if this would never happen, this world in the inner city would be basically slavery, like, legally. That's what it is. It's slavery legally. That's what I think.
Wow, that's heavy. So what makes you think that it's slavery legally?
I mean, because they treat us it's not really, it's like we're putting ourselves in slavery. They're not putting us there. We're putting ourselves there. We're putting ourselves in a predicament to where we do something stupid, we go to jail. Now they making money off of us because we're making stupid decisions, and we go there, and they basically own us, because when we get out of jail, we're not free anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just like this is just about African Americans. Like, if this is a white person, they do something stupid, they go to jail. Their parents can get them out because their parents were smart and they have money and they didn't make bad mistakes, and they did what they had to do to be wherever they're at. And we, even as a parent, sometimes parents want to become something and they strive to do it but fail to do it, and they just stop. They just basically give up. And so that's why you see a lot of these kids, and the reason why we as African Americans and our fathers have left and is just single mother is because slavery in the days that white people divided us up, and so they would take our families away. In which we don't realize, they would take our families away from us. So really, we didn't put ourselves there to where the father would leave. White people put there like that, where fathers would leave, because that's just a genetic that keeps happening, because you're so used to not being there. You always spread apart, and you think it's gonna be like that. So not seeing somebody as a slave was just normal, and so that's what I mean by slavery. So they can't say that, oh, black people, their fathers go away because they don't want to have children. No, their fathers go away because in slavery, that's what they're like used to. It's like it happens like anyway, because they took us away. So there was really no such thing as family. So keeping a family as an African American was such a hard thing to do.
So tough, ain't it, man? So what's the root cause of violence, though? Like, what causes the violence? Like, in the heart, like, what causes a person to commit violence, man? Like, as a youth, from your perspective.
Really, to me, I think it starts young. It starts when you're young, and then as you get older, and you're able to have this stuff, and you have what people call gangs is really they're not even, we think, gang members think that is their family, when it's really not, because let's say you go to jail, and then they call one of your people just for, wanted for questioning, and then they come, and then they gonna rat you out, And then when you get out of jail, you're going to want to hurt them. That's probably what starts the beef. That's what I think what starts it. And then another one is like when you're young and like you and this person didn't get along as kids and you both grow up getting into gangs. And so, but you both like grow up and go into different sides. And then that beef that you had when you're young, it like they hold a grudge. And then that grudge stays and then...
Boy, you super smart, boy.
That's what I think.
Tahjir Nasir, man. I mean, I respect that perspective, man. I agree with you. Everything you said was accurate, man.
Yeah.
Man, Lord have mercy on you, man, and continue to increase you in your thing. So my question for you now is, what's the solution? What can we do as a culture to bring about solutions, knowing that it ain't gonna happen overnight, but from your perspective, 13 years old, what do you think the solution is?
I can't answer that question because I'm not in a gang and I don't have beef with people over stupid stuff. Even though I'm 13 years old, but even though I'm still young, I don't have beef with people, and I will never ever join a gang because I have a goal in life. And so, me personally is saying to the gangs that we have beef with one another is that what was like my question is, what was it like? How did you start your beef with that? And it could be something petty, but it could be something serious. But you would have to just think about what it was and how did it happen and how did the conflict start. And so then it goes from conflict to solution. You figure out how it happened. You have to identify it first. And then as you identify it, you're going to figure out your solution. And hopefully, if you ever get a chance, talk to that person that you had beef with to, make a solution and correct it. And then, and if everybody do that, they won't have the white people won't have anything else to say about African American.
Clearly, we can close their mouth.
Yeah, we could have been closed their mouth, but every time we're almost there, somebody ends up ruining it, or somebody getting killed. That's what I think.
Man. So what we gotta do for that? How we stop ruining it? What do we gotta do to stop ruining the outcome?
What do we have to start doing to ruin the outcome?
Yeah, what do we have to do different to stop ruining the outcome? Like you saying, like we always messing it up.
Mm-hmm.
Why? What do we have to do different so we don't always mess it up?
Well, you and my mom always say think for any action, and so. What makes you not think about killing another person? Like, you gonna take somebody else's life from their family, from your family, because of what happened with your friend? That's not even blood, what they got themselves into. And so it's really not even that. It's just that, it's you putting yourself in a predicament that you kill somebody, and then they gonna get their people, and then they gonna come kill you, and then it's a repeated pattern, and it happened all the time, and then so. When it stopped happening, finally, when it starts to stop happening and no one do something, somebody end up going to do something because one of their friends or the boss tell them, go do this or go do that, and they end up doing it, and then that pattern starts again.
That's tough, man. The cycle of the gang life. Live from Lil Taj, man. 13, man. Giving it to us, the game. It's the game, baby. You come from it too, though.
Yeah.
But you didn't have to go through it. I gave it to you. Yeah. It shows too, though, man. You rolled that game off your tongue so fabulously, boy. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to increase you, man. I mean, you the future. It's your turn to lead. Mm-hmm. But, and you got to be okay with making a difference. Mm-hmm. You ain't got to be like everybody else. Yeah. You are original. It's only one Tahjir Nasir. There's no duplicates. He only got one. He only made one of you. So I definitely expect for you to be the best you. Mm-hmm. And I'm not accepting you not being that. And I don't want you to accept you not being that, because you have the potential to be that. You're king, man. Prince in the making. Mm-hmm. King in the making. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam.
That's beautiful.